Okay, boys, so since the games are going to be a postponement with all the games because everybody's on vacation, finishing baseball, and has family stuff going on. So we're postponing the games, and so I'm just going to do a little fill-in video just to keep the content pretty evenly spread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my power rankings for this LIBL League and the skill level of each player, 1 through 12. Now, this is how I'm going to base it. I'm going to base it off of fielding, pitching, hitting, and then like leadership or mojo or things like that. So that's how I'm going to basically base all these rankings off of. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I'm going to go from 12, and then I'll end off with the best pitcher, or with the best person who I think is the best in the league. So I'll start off with number 12, the worst player. In my opinion, I think the worst player in this league is Max Van Dersen. Now, his fielding isn't the greatest, even though he won Gold Glove last year. I don't think he really deserved it. His hitting, he only has 1 home run. He went hitless in the first season. And his pitching, he's never pitched. And it's not like he is that much better than people think he is. I mean, nobody's scared of him when they're pitching to him. But I don't think that he is, I think that he has upset his team with his pitching, hitting, and all of the above. I just don't think it matches all the rest of these players. Now, on to number 11. I have George Koumanis. Yes, a lot of people would think, I think he's the worst player in the league. I personally do not, just because George is really, really clutch. He had a walk-off grand slam, which was huge against a team against a pitcher that was absolutely dealing through their lineup the entire game. But he ended up hitting a grand slam off me, and his fielding is amazing. So let's say that there's a ball hit into the outfield and there's a guy on second base. Usually you go home, right? You can't go home when George has the ball in the outfield because he gets that ball in so fast to either Brandon or Greason, and they can just do a relay and throw it home and possibly get him out, or have to have him go back. So I think George gets the ball in really well. His fielding is outstanding, and he has really, really clutch hitting. His pitching, we don't really know yet because he hasn't pitched in very long, but I think that his fielding and his clutch hitting make up for his lack of pitching. Now, number 10, we have a huge upset, Tanner Mitch, who was the 2nd overall pick. Him being on my team, I think that he's a really big upset. I think I could have gotten a lot better players at the 2nd overall pick because he really hasn't done anything outstanding. Yes, he's only played in 3 games because we had to have a sub for him in the second series, but I don't think he's very special. His pitching, he only has 1 pitch. His hitting, yes, he did have some good hits at the end. I think he had 2 grand slams in the last game that he played against the Torches. His fielding isn't that great, and he's not very clutch either. He always does good in situations where we don't really need him to be good. So his clutch hitting is not where it needs to be. Now, I think I could have put him higher on this list, but I really like the rest of my list. I think they're all really good players, and so I put Tanner at number 10, which isn't really that bad of a spot, just because all the rest of these players aren't even that bad. Now I have number 9. In my opinion, I think the ninth best player in this league is Brody Fields, the captain of the Shelby Torches. I thought that he was going to be a lot better of a player this year, and I think he kind of upset me. His hitting isn't that good. He's only had, I think, 2 home runs. His pitching, it's decent. I mean, it's better than his hitting, but still not anything special. His fielding, not anything special. But the only reason why I put him up here is because when he hits. And when he hits, it's clutch hitting as well. So that's another reason why I think Brody deserves this 9th best player in the league. And not only that, I also think he always puts 100% into what he does, no matter how down his team is and things like that. I think he really keeps his head up and everything like that, which is really good for a player, especially a captain. Now, number 8, I have Dylan Basaki, the 7th overall pick in the league. I think that Dylan has showed up extremely. He was not supposed to be this good. First series, he went off. He had 4 home runs, including a walk-off. Huge for the bomb squad. Now, his hitting is absolutely amazing. His pitching, he needs to be more consistent in throwing strikes. And his fielding, we need to work on that too. But his hitting makes up for everything. He is one of the most clutch, not only clutch hitters, but just one of the biggest power hitters we have in the league.
Sorry guys for the different angle, but I wanted to change some of my rankings. I wanted to change my 7th and 6th rankings. So for number 7, for who I think is the number 7th best player in the league, I think Hudson Vanderson, just because he doesn't really give that much effort when he's losing or anything like that. But when he is not losing and when he's trying, he's really, really good. He could be probably a top 5 player when he's trying. But the only problem is he doesn't try very often. And his pitching isn't the greatest either. So that's the reason why I pick him 7th. And for number 6, I am picking Brecken Billhorn, number 6, just because this kid is the ace of the Shelby Torches. Who would have thought that? He's leading the league in home runs. This is all crazy news. He's going crazy right now. And nobody thought this was going to happen. Nobody thought he was going to pitch good. I mean, yeah, he's slow, but it doesn't matter if you're slow if you're just trotting around the bases after you hit every single home run in the world. Like, this kid is really, really, really underrated in my opinion, and I think he deserves his 6th spot, especially being able to carry the torches. I mean, yes, they're 0-6, but he is still carrying them to even keep them in the game.
Now, number 5, I have the captain of the Hustlers, Josh Hanowski. So I think he is the 5th over top 5 because his pitching is pretty bad. His ERA is horrible. I don't really know it exactly, but it is really, really bad. His hitting, though, is absolutely amazing. He's clutch. He's putting the ball in play on 2 strikes. He's hitting home runs. He's doing all of these really good things that a power hitter needs. Now, I think that his other teammate, Cam, I think he also picks him up pretty well with his pitching, but his fielding is pretty good. His pitching isn't as bad, but his hitting definitely carries him to a top 5 player in this league. Now, number 4, people may think I'm stupid for this, but Grayson Billhorn. Hear me out. Grayson Billhorn he's always hitting the ball. I mean, for some reason, I don't know what it is about him, but I am really scared when I am pitching to him. You don't know what to expect. He could ground out, but he could also go yard on any single pitch that you throw, no matter if it's your best pitch or if it's your worst pitch. You never know what's going to happen with him. So I think he's really unpredictable, so I don't really know what to throw to him, and he's just like a weird and different player than all the others. He's really clutch too. Last year and this year, he's always hitting home runs in like the last inning. He's just really clutch as a player. His pitching, he's a really good relief pitcher or a second string pitcher outside of Brandon. So if Brandon's doing pretty bad, Grayson usually can pick up the team a little bit if Brandon's having a bad outing. Now, he's also a lefty, so he has a huge hitting advantage along with Josh, which is why I think they are also two pretty good hitters in this league. It's because of their left-hand dominance being a southpaw. Now, number 3, I have myself, because I think that I'm a pretty good pitcher. I pretty much dealt through the second series of the game, minus the first game, but I think I'm pretty good at pitching, and I also think I'm a pretty good hitter as well. I am tied for second place with home runs. I have 5 home runs, and I'm leading the league in walks as well, so I have a pretty good OBP as well. And my fielding is pretty good, in my opinion. I think I'm an overall pretty good player. Now, I don't think I have very many outstanding things, but I think I'm overall one of the most consistent players in the league. But not as consistent as this guy, Brandon Calvitis, for the second best player in this league. He is so consistent. His OBP is outstanding. He's getting on base by any means, whether there's walks, home runs, hits, whatever. He's always getting on base. His pitching, he has so much experience pitching that you don't really know what pitch he's going to throw because he has such a big arsenal. And I think that he's a really scary pitcher for righties, maybe not lefties, but he's a really scary pitcher against righties for that righty-righty matchup and that slider. Now, for the number 1 best player in the LIBL League, I have Camden Mikulich. I think that Cam is the best player in the league, even though he's a rookie, because his pitching is so good. I think that he's going to win Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, maybe even Gold Glove, considering he has had some amazing plays in the field. His hitting is really clutch as well. He's always putting the ball in play on 2 strikes as well. Him and Josh have absolutely carried the Hustlers to having a good record. Now those are my rankings of each player from this LIBL League from 12 to 1. So this is one of my videos where I just kind of fill in some things for the lack of posting. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.